And just coming to the front of your yoga mat, standing in mountain pose, Tadasana, feet together, toes, heels, pressing down into the toes, just closing your eyes and taking the hands up to the sky, looking up at the thumbs, being mindful of how you feel now in your body. Breathing in and out through the nose, looking up at the thumbs. Exhale, hands down. And on the inhale, taking those hands back up, looking at the thumbs, hands down. Inhale, hands up again, looking at the thumbs. And as we exhale, this time we're going to bend forward and come into pendulum pose or Dalasana. So just allowing the head to hang forward, bending those knees. You can take the feet a little bit apart if that's more comfortable for you. Allow the muscles of the face to relax and just swing from side to side, backwards and forwards if that's what's comfortable. Just bringing awareness to the relaxation of the muscles in the lower back. Then we come down into high lunge and back into plank position. Chaturanga into up dog or cobra pose, looking up between the eyebrows, shoulders back and down away from the ears, breathing in and out through the nose. All of your awareness focus on how you feel in your body right now. Being mindful of how this movement opens up the body as we progress the practice. And coming back into semi-puppy pose. The toes turned under, resting the forehead on the mat, sliding the chest onto the mat, so moving from an upward child into puppy, lengthening through the fingertips, forehead or chin on the mat, whichever is comfortable for you, and remembering to breathe in this position. Inhale in and out through the nose, inhale equaling the exhale, and releasing the entire length of the spine, shoulders away from the ears, stretching those fingertips actively towards the end of the mat. And then we come in to rolling cat curls, leading with the forehead, coming back onto the hips, up, looking up towards the third eye, rolling the back, chest towards the mat, rolling up and back, really releasing every vertebrae of the spine as we roll back and forward, upwards, back and forward, taking the head down towards the mat. Brief child's pose before we pop back into Uddha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now we're going to walk this doggy, so taking alternating heels to the mat, bending those knees, playing with that doggy, rotating the neck side to side, doing what feels comfortable for you. So don't worry about finding stillness in this posture. This is about being mindful of how you feel. Taking this 15 minutes to really focus and be mindful of how you feel in your body, how you feel in your mind. So just keep playing with that doggy, stretching out the hamstrings, the calves, releasing that lower back. You can even try a little bounce backwards and forwards, shoulders back and down away from the ears, making sure you're taking a slight bend in those elbows so you don't lock out the arms. Coming on to the tiptoes, leading with the hips, we're going to take that right foot up, straight leg, and then bend that knee, taking the heel towards the buttocks. And just releasing those ankles, circling the ankles before we come in to a low lunge. Now you can take a high lunge if it's comfortable, but we're taking those hands above the head, shoulders back and down, and bringing that back into goalpost arms. So we're opening up that chest and heart for breathing, being aware of how the breath feels, popping the hands down either side of the foot, and coming back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So we're going to play with that doggy again, bending the knees, shaking the hip bones side to side, enjoying a little bounce, and then we extend the opposite leg up in the air, rolling that foot, taking the heel back to the buttocks, just really opening up the hips, the hamstrings, before we come back into forward low lunge. So really just pushing into that, opening up the hips, the groin, coming back into goal post arms. Remembering to breathe, inhale, equaling the exhale, in and out through the nose. Breathing deeply, hands either side of the foot and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, walking the dog. Now I want you to be mindful of how much more relaxed, how much warmer the muscles of the legs are. That your shoulders are slightly further down away from the ears, that you're moving a little bit more smoothly, a little bit easily, as we take that leg up behind the back, foot to the buttocks, and then forward into pigeon pose. The knee between the hands, facing over the front knee, body facing forward, and we're just going to rock from side to side, so very mindfully opening the hips and the groin. Rock from side to side. The hands can be flat on the mat, they can be on the fingertips, whatever is comfortable. You can come forward onto the forearms if this is available to you. And if it's possible, rest the forehead on the hands. But just practice pigeon at whichever position is comfortable for you. Now, you don't need to be still here. You can keep rocking, opening up that lower back, opening up the hips, the groin, really releasing here. Focusing on the breath, in and out through the nose as we come back onto the fingertips. And we're going to grab that back foot and take the heel towards the buttocks if this is available to you. Right hand resting on the outside of the knee. We're then going to take that arm. If we can, if it's available, we're going to clasp that foot, or we can hold on to the foot. This is your practice. Do what's comfortable for you. Being mindful of the body opening up, becoming warmer, more relaxed, looser. The limbs and ligaments opening up to the day ahead. Coming back onto the hands and into downward facing dog again. So bouncing, walking that dog, play with your downward dog, enjoy the downward dog, being mindful and aware of how much easier this feels every time we pop into down dog. Now taking that opposite leg up in the air towards the buttocks and then into pigeon pose on the opposite side. So on the fingertips, we start to rock from side to side, gently opening the sit bones, the hips, the groin. Just rocking side to side, finding a comfortable place, coming onto the forearms if it's available, and if it's available to you, taking the hands out in front and placing the forehead on the hands if it's comfortable for you to do so. If not, you can stay upright. This is your practice. So resting the forehead in the hands, we're just breathing in and out through the nose, being aware the cool inhale, the warm exhale. Remembering to breathe. Now you may feel that this posture is more comfortable on one side than the other, and that's absolutely fine and perfectly normal. And just relaxing into the pose as we continue to breathe. Inhale following the exhale. Resting mindfully in pigeon, thinking only about the breath, and if the mind wanders, come back to that breath. Coming back up onto the fingertips, we're going to bring the opposite foot to the buttocks. We can use the hands to help here, or we can bind the foot in the arms. So this is moving into somewhat of a mermaid pose, whatever is comfortable for you. Again, bringing the attention to the breath. In and out through the nose. And releasing that back foot. Now we come into simple cross-leg position, and from here we're going to move into double pigeon. So taking the right foot to the left knee, fingertips on the mat, and then looking upwards, really opening up that chest and heart for breathing. Then walking those fingertips forward, coming onto the forearms, onto the hands again as before, if we can, really releasing that psoas muscle, the lower back. A gorgeous stretch, mindfully stretching. Again, you can stay on your fingertips if that's what's available. Or you can take the full forward bend in this gorgeous double pigeon posture. This is your practice. Just remember to breathe and coming back up. And we're going to do a nice simple side stretch here. So taking the right forearm down, raising the left hand up and taking those fingers up and over the forehead, lengthening through the fingertips, really stretching out the spine and coming back to center. And now we're going to change over legs. So taking the left foot to the right knee this time, back into double pigeon. We're going to walk those fingertips behind the hips, open up the heart and chest for breathing, looking up, breathing in and out, nice deep breaths here. And when we're ready, and if it's available, we're going to walk those fingertips forward again, come on to the forearms, taking the head onto the hands if it's available, really enjoying the stretch around the psoas, the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, all the way up, stretching the entire length of the spine, the neck and the shoulders. And remembering to breathe. Inhale, following exhale. Being mindful of how you feel, not forcing the posture. Coming back up, we're going to stretch on the opposite side now, lengthening through the fingertips and stretching up and over. If the forearm isn't available to go to the ground, just resting on the hand is absolutely fine, but lengthening through the top fingertips so that we're not falling into that hand. This is about lengthening and stretching and coming back to center now. So just coming back into simple Sukhasana, cross-leg position, releasing those shoulders back and down, just releasing the neck, forwards, backwards, breathing up, exhaling down. Moving the head from side to side, just lengthening the right side of the head, pulling with both sets of fingertips, pulling the head, pulling the shoulders, and just lengthening the neck, releasing any tension. Again, being mindful not to hyper extend or overstretch here, and don't do anything that's painful. And as we breathe, we release the neck and we change over sides. So pulling with both sets of hands, pulling the head and the shoulders in opposite directions to get that little bit of extra stretch. And remember to breathe in this position. Inhale, turn of the breath. Exhale. Just releasing that neck. Forwards, backwards. Just relax and release. Clasping the hands in front of the body. And we're going to move those shoulders from side to side. And as we do, just releasing the shoulders and the neck here. Being mindful of that release. Taking the palms of the hands still clasped up above the head, looking up towards those thumbs, really pushing up towards the sky, stretching it out, pressing up with the palms, coming down. Now we're going to clasp the fingers the same way, but behind the back, shoulders back and down, looking up towards the third eye, and just pulling back and up with the hands, those clasped hands, breathing in and out through the nose. And now we're just going to roll onto our side, coming onto our back, and we're going to relax into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined cobbler's pose. Shoulders back and down, palms facing up, soles of the feet together, knees out. And just rocking the head from side to side, relaxing now. In Baddha Konasana, you deserve this rest. And I want you to bring awareness to your entire body. Now you can stay in Baddha Konasana, or you can move into Savasana, just releasing those legs, allowing the toes to fall out towards the side. Just scanning the body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, being aware, bringing mindfulness to how you feel in your body and your mind now. Relaxed, heavy, warm, open to receiving. open to believing, mindful of how we are in our body and mind, we go forward into the day ahead, happy, relaxed, and positive. Namaste.